Hey, leadership team. I wanted to quickly just make sure that expectations were clear for Whetstone beginning next week, and to ensure that you had access to all of those things. So this is in our school leader readiness R&R slide deck. But as you can see, the regional expectation is that each week, every teacher in our building, which includes lead teachers, special education teachers, and Mr. A, fellows, paras, etc., are not yet logged onto Whetstone, so this is only applicable to lead teachers in our building. That each week they are in Whetstone receiving 2 scores, 2 quick hits, and 1 action step. So that's a lot of different things. So just want to make sure everyone knows how to access those things. We, for next week, will only be on the rubric that is in Whetstone, giving scores for brave and joyful environment, what to do, and engaged classroom. So all of our quick hits, observations, action steps, etc. should relate specifically to those things. So when you go into Whetstone, you're going to log onto Whetstone. You are entering for your observation, which you should have at least 2 a week. And you are going to click, your homepage will look like this or something close to it. And you're going to click Start, and you're going to click Observe. I'm going to observe Ariel. And then I'm going to select Strong Start Forms and Strong Start Observation Rubric, and then click Start. And then it's going to take forever to load. All right. So again, I'm only looking for these 3 categories: brave and joyful environment, what to do, and engaged classroom. So when I'm in Whetstone, let's say I'm going to click this plus button so I can see what's happening here. And let's say that in Ariel's classroom, Kipsters exhibit engaged posture, demeanor, and are not actively using other programs, right? I'm going to click on that, which will copy it down. And I'm going to make a note, 18 out of 22 students were engaged, 2 cameras off, 2 students asleep, okay? So those are going to be the notes that I'm going to take for myself during this time. Then I'm going to go back here and say, like, okay, so students are sitting in star position, students are dressed appropriately, students come to class prepared with materials. So I did see that students were dressed appropriately, all that I could see, and kids were prepared. So I'm going to say that, she got 2 out of the 3 points for that category, because students were not visible during that time, or were not sitting in star. The other thing I'm looking for here is students is actively monitoring the chat for student engagement and responses. Students were stayed on mute, and they were responding and engaging in the chat when asked. So Ariel demonstrated all of those things. So she had 5 out of the 6. So I can see here, I'm going to put on her Whetstone score that she was proficient because she had 5 out of the 6. Okay. Then I'm going to go down to what to do, or brave and joyful environments. I'm going to click this here. And the only thing that we were observing for is for this week, teachers' energy, tone, and body language demonstrate excitement. So because I clicked on that, I came down here. Let's say that Ariel just seemed like she was like continuously yawning. She seemed really like detached. Ariel just didn't seem in it to win it. So I'm going to go back to our criteria for success. I can see that teacher is engaged with students and not distracted. Teacher speaks at a level 3 voice and adds facial expressions, and teacher affirms positive behaviors. I didn't see any of those things from Ariel today, and so I'm going to click here for not yet proficient. And then I'm going to put over here in the quick hits, I'm going to copy over what I was, what was the area of growth. And I'm going to put real-time coaching on excitement. Miss Eli, can you share with us why you are excited print today. And then I'm going to put teacher responded positively to live coaching and carried that through. Okay. So that's what the quick hit for Ariel would look like. So I've identified what aligned to our criteria for success is her area for growth. What I want to see change and what I live coach her on is how is she demonstrating excitement about the content through her tone and body language. I real-timed coached Ariel on that in the moment. And then I'm going to notate here that she responded positively through that. Then I'm going to come down to what to do. Ariel's great at what to do, so I'm going to look at this. She both gave sequential steps and she checked for understanding. I'm going to go to this criteria for success. She demonstrated 6 out of 6. Wonderful. Ariel gave exemplary what to do directions. So what this does for you then is it documents both one score and it also documents the quick hit and documents your real-time coaching. So this is how you keep evidence as a coach of I went in, I scored this person on the rubric, and I gave them real-time coaching. So once I finish that, I'm going to come down, and this is a little bit off on the screen, I think. Okay. And I'm going to click Finalize. So I have two choices. I can either click Finalize, which means that it's recorded. Everyone from Kid Texas can access it. I can access it. Or I can finalize and notify the teacher. So this is just going to be up to you. If I'm going to really, rate Ariel as not yet proficient and, put in the notes like teacher was yawning and seemed bored out of her mind. I don't want to share that with the teacher and I don't really want to put those in the notes. So I always say if it's in a tracker somewhere, we should be transparent about that. So I'm going to click finalize and notify teacher. However, you might decide I'm going to click finalize and then I have access to it, but Ariel does not yet. In which case I will be accessed it to look like this. So I can see there's no score for most things. My ratings were here and the quick hits were here as well. So I might decide I'm going to have my coaching conversation with Ariel. I'm going to flag for her my concern and then I'm going to share it with her. And, after we have a conversation about it, hey, Kaz, and I'm going to say something nice. I'm going to click her name, and then I'm going to say send emails. So she is able to access that. Okay. So you can decide to share it right away, or you can decide to have a follow-up conversation before you share it. It'll just depend what's on there. So you should do that twice a week, immediately following real-time coaching or during real-time coaching. So when you step in for your 15-20 minute observation, you're rating on the 3 strong start behaviors that we've identified here, and then you are giving a quick hit based on what you real-time coached. The other thing, so that should happen 2 times a week. So if I go back to Whetstone, each week 2 scores plus 2 quick hits, we got that. The other thing that you are expected to do every week is then create an action step. So what I could do is come back to this same thing and say, you know what, both of Ariel's quick hits this week were around tone and energy. So then I'm going to scroll down here to action step. And I'm going to add a new action step. And, I'm going to put my what Ariel is expected to do and how she is expected to do that. I'm going to tag it to where it is in Get Better Faster. So for example, I would say that is probably coming across here on, honestly, I think probably phase 1 management. It relates most closely to strong voice. So I'm going to align her action step to the Get Better Faster rubric. And then I'm going to create her action step. So Ariel then is able to track her action steps. You can see she had another one last week that she is around habits of discussion. So Ariel's, unfortunately moving backwards on the trajectory, but that's okay. And so then from Ariel's standpoint, she's able to see these action steps and track her own progress, which is a critical component of the teacher career pathways. So again, 2 scores per week in the rubric and 2 action steps. So you'll do that during your real-time coaching. And then based on that, you'll create your action step for the week. So it's possible that, I gave Ariel that live coaching and then every time I go in, she's killing it. It wouldn't make sense for her action step to be like most closely aligned to teacher tone. So you're just going to have to, coach and make your best judgments during those times. But in most cases, we'll see like pretty clear trends, like, it got a little bit better. We're going to keep pushing it with real-time coaching. And then in your formal O3 with a teacher, identify your action step. So those are the expectations for Whetstone. Again, 2 scores, 2 quick hits, and 1 action step should be coming across every week. If you have any questions, please let me know, but hopefully that was helpful to just make sure how do you find the information.